Namaste. So over the next few weeks, I've been looking at the 5 UPAs, the Universal Principles of Alignment of Anusara Yoga. And this week, we're on week 3. So if you haven't done the first 2, I'll put the links up here, go and do those. And also make sure that you've looked briefly at my foot alignment little video. You can see, and you'll see why I use these, what I call magic lines, and these will be important in this class today. So again, I'll put the link for that there, go and do that. Okay, so the third principle, well the third and fourth principles, which will be next week, inner spiral this week, outer spiral next week. These are secondary principles. And that's because they're fine tunings, more nuances of poses and creating safe, optimal alignment for your body. So they're the secondary principles. They work really closely together, but for the purposes of these videos, I'm going to be separating them out. Inner spiral then. So what is it? You may have heard of inner rotation. So inner rotation, say of your legs, will be implying that the whole leg from hip to toe sort of turns in like this, or your arms turn in as one unit. Spiraling is a little bit more nuanced than that. And as you can see, I've got my feet hip distance and parallel. And this energy will start at your feet and come all the way up in your legs, all the way up to your belly. Get yourself a yoga strap and we'll see how this is. So the magic lines are parallel. Place your strap down and put the buckle on the mat, and you're going to put your big toe mound on that. So I've got my right foot on that. So my big toe mound presses it down and the strap runs underneath my feet. This is where inner spiral, the energy of it runs. It goes underneath your feet, okay, and then it wraps over the top of your foot, comes to the inner ankle, and then starts to come up. It comes out, so it feels like your calf muscle is wrapping round and in. Just like this line here of this strap, round and in, round and in. A vortex of ever continuing energy drawing you. It's a softening energy. This is drawing in. And if you can imagine that it went up higher, I could actually thread this through my tummy. It actually goes through, like the hip bone comes and turns in. And if you bring both feet parallel and try this with both feet, stick your bottom back and feel this energy softening you in, like you're turning the whole leg in, foot all the way up. And then even your waistline kind of wraps in. It's a softening. And you might feel your lower back widen. Bring your hands to your knees to chair pose. Feel that energy in the left leg as well. Imagine you had a strap there. Mine's fallen down. But this is the spiral. So it's not just a rotation, it's a spiraling, constant flux of energy. And stick your bottom back, bring your hands to your thighs, sit down. And then as you stand back up, we keep it working. So keep standing up. And if you lose it, what will happen is as you stand up, your hips will push forward. You'll get this feeling of turning outward and stick the hips forward. And this is where we can get backache and bad posture from. So try it now without the strap. Feet inner hip distance apart. Imagine the energy running underneath your foot, wrapping in, softening you in. Stick your butt back, stick it back. So the energy wraps around like this. Sit back and down. Bring your hands onto your thighs there. Sit a little bit deeper. Soften the groins in, back and apart. Inhale, reach your arms up. This is Utkatasana. Sit down a little bit more for 3. So even in the strong poses, we feel this softening energy coming in again. Inhale, as you come up with the softening. So don't shove the hips forward. You keep it even in Tadasana. And then exhale, hands to your heart center. Well done. So let's move these props and things to the side. Come to the top of your mat. And you'll see how we use this even in downward facing dog. So Tadasana, bend your knees, sit back, a little chair pose here, soften the groins in, back and apart. Feel that vortex. It continually flows. It doesn't just happen once, constantly flowing, like your breath, like life. Sit down a little bit more. And then as you exhale, bow forward. Even in your Utkatasana, the magic lines stay parallel. You feel like you're lifting and widening your bum, inner thighs, in, back and apart. Inhale, extend your spine, place your hands, step back to downward dog. Let's get rid of those. And in your downward dog, bend your knees a lot. And as you look back at your knees, try not to let them go knock-kneed, but you still got this idea of bend your knees, soften the groins. If you can see my bottom, I'm really sticking it up. And this is one of the beautiful nuances of inner spiral. And then as you begin to straighten the legs, you keep that thigh bones draw back. Weight down in the heels. And rather than feeling crampy in the lower back, this should feel really good. Lift your chin slightly, take a deep breath in and a long breath out. It might be more work than you're used to in your downward dog. But that's what these nuances are all about. Okay, then come to your knees, and as you do that, bring your knees together. So again, they stick your bottom up for cow pose. That will really help you soften the groins. Separate your feet. Magic lines now, click down onto the mat. Stick your booty back and down. Pop up block underneath your bottom if you want to. I'm going to try that actually. Yeah. And again, here's your inner spiral, like water has been thrown on your lap, and that's the water flows in. So you can help it out by inner spiraling it with your right hand, lifting the left upholstery. Do the other side. So you actually can help this manual inner spiral, and will help you with Virabhadrasana. Take a deep breath in and a long breath out. Gorgeous. Now the same thing kind of happens in the arms. If you reach your arms in front of you, turning the whole arm in is an inner spiral. Okay, and we'll work on outer spiral next week. So bring your hands now, come up, come onto the mat. All that good alignment. Spread your hands, index fingers point forward. Your hands are as wide as your shoulders. But the energy is that you're turning the palms in, and that will help you root this knuckle down. So you can see this knuckle here. As I'm turning them the way these arrows are going. You could zoom in on the screen if you want. And this is where I'm turning. This will lift my triceps a little bit too much, and we'll work on that next week, so don't overlift the triceps. But this inner spiral will help you root from the elbow down, root the knuckle, this L-shaped part of your hand down. Tuck your toes, lift your bum, downward facing dog again. So especially if you get wrist pain, this will definitely help that. So think about turning the arm in, all the way up to the shoulder. So it applies to the arms and the legs. Okay, I'm going to move that block there now. Then inhale, lift your right leg up behind you, step it up in between your hands. Let your back foot come down. And let's bring our right elbow to the knee there. Now the tendency in these sideways poses is that we push the hip forward and turn it into a bit of a back bend, and this can cramp us. So this is where inner spiral comes in handy. Let me put the strap on quickly here. So I've zoomed you in a little closer. You can see how this energy wraps round and round, and this is drawing my thigh in, back and apart, so preventing me from shoving the hip forward. In fact, if I loop that down, take it in the other hand and pull, you can try this at home, see how that brings the thigh bone back. Then you're going to have to work on the right hip, tucking that under deeply. Bring the right elbow in and pull on your strap. See how this turns it in and wraps it round. Then we can add on the arm, reach it up and over as if I'm pressing on something with this top arm, clawing the floor. That's creating that energy of inner spiral in the arms as well. Parsvakonasana. Keep it as you come up to warrior two. Drawing this thigh back. There should be a direct line from your hip to the outer ankle. No pushing forward. Come up. Let's try the other side. So turn the right toes in. We'll abandon this now. But the energy is still there. It wraps in and around like this vortex. Helps me soften the thigh in, back and apart. Lovely. Even right up into the belly, drawing the belly in and back. So like I'm rounding in slightly. Then tuck the left hip under you. That's outer spiral, and we'll talk about that next week more. Top arm comes up and over. Claw the air with these two little crab claws. Press them down like you're pressing on a ball or somebody's hand there. That will help you create that inner spiral in the arms, even though they're not your foundation. Let's keep that as we come up to Warrior Two. See how much more work it is. It's easier to shove the hip forward. Back it goes. Straighten the left leg. Turn the toes in. Let's try that in Trikonasana and reach around for some blocks. This will help you feel it more. So step your feet beautifully and wide, magic lines parallel, and put your blocks behind your calf muscles there. This will take the depth out of your pose, but you'll be able to feel the nuance of the inner spiral more, okay? So let's start with the left side. Turn your left toes to the short edge of the mat. Heel to arch alignment. Then bend your knees and feel like you're turning everything inward, okay? Reach your arms up overhead, and as you straighten the legs, keep this energy, even though your legs are in completely different directions here, turning in, reach up, and then reach your arms wide, claw in the air, and reach around you go. Bring your left fingertips to a block, light touch, reach up. And then as you do this, don't throw the top arm back and push your right hip forward. Keep softening this groin. So for a moment here, tuck your chin, look down your cleavage and see if you can see the top of that thigh and soften it in, back and apart. Scoot your left hip under you though, and then keep that. Give yourself a cough and then re-lift your chin again and come into a Trikonasana, which is maybe you're having to work quite a lot harder here in your legs to keep that beautiful, safe, clear alignment. Get light on your left fingertips. Inhale, come up. Keep all that as you turn your left toes in, your right toes out, so never lose it. Inhale, bend the legs to start with again, soften, and then keep it as you straighten. Reach it out and then over you go. Bring your right fingertips to the block. Reach up and then tuck your chin again. Look towards your own tummy button and see if you can soften the left groin even more. Soften it, soften it. No need to shove. It's not a back bend, this pose. Tuck your right hip under you more. Then re-lift your chin, keeping all of that. Maybe turn your face and open. Ensure this top arm is not trying to reach behind you. It's going just to the ceiling. Then you're in a lovely straight line. Trikonasana. Deep breath in and a long breath out. Awesome. Get light on your right fingertips and inhale. Come on up. Turn the toes in and step it together. Well done. So this now, as we lift the legs, we still keep all this beautiful inner spiral. I'll show you here. So grab yourself your strap, hook it over your right foot, okay, and then grab it with your right hand. So slide it down, bend the right leg and bring it up. So see how my right arm is on the inside of my knee? I squeeze in, left hand to your hip. Now, lean forward a little bit. That will help you create that inner spiral, softening of your groins. Keep leaning forward as you extend the legs. See how my foot still turns in. It's not opening. Whoops. See how that knocked me off balance? So try that again. It's a softening, a turning in, thigh bones are back. And then I stand up, maintaining all of that. Give yourself a cough. Reach the arm to the side for some balance. And keep this even as you bring the leg to the side, especially in this supporting leg. Try not to shove the hip forward. In a spiral on that supporting leg. 3, 2, 1. And then start to bend the leg, bend the leg. Bring it into tree so you can dispense with the strap. Bring it in. And you can use your foot on your inner thigh to actually help you create inner spiral. Lean forward, and this foot can help push the groin in, back, and apart. See that? Then give yourself a cough. And then see if you can widen your right knee more to the side. Reach around for tree. And in our balances, we do tend to push this hip forward, which can be not great for the spine, hip, and back. So inner spiral, beautifully healing. Reach up, stretch up, and your posture feel more joyous, slightly softer. And then exhale, bring that down. Let's try that on the other side, okay? So strap over your left foot. Okay, strap in your left hand as you bring it up on the inside. Right hand on your hip, okay? Lean forward, and that will take that top of that right thigh bone back. It's the supporting leg that tends to misbehave here. Then extend the left leg in a spiral. So here my toes tend to turn in, not here. In they go. Okay, and then bring it out to the side. As you stand up, don't be tempted to do this. Whoa. Draw it back. You might not get the left leg as far to the side, but the pose should feel sweeter. Okay, you ready for tree? So bend the left leg, dispense with the strap, bring it to your inner thigh and use this foot to assist with the inner spiral. Lean forward again. The foot helps to squeeze the thigh in, back and apart. Then as you stand up, cough. Again, that's outer spiral work, and that's coming next week. That little cough and tone of your booty. And then reach up. And these little nuances. Third and fourth principle of this beautiful system, Anusara Yoga. Help you to get to know intricately these poses. One more breath, guys. And then gently bring it down. Well done. Release your hands down beside you. And check your feet, check their inner hip width apart. Thighs are drawing in, back, and apart. Well done, take a deep breath in. And a long breath out. Well done. Let's quickly put 3 poses together, remembering all of this fabulous work. All right, so come to the top of your mat. You can leave your blocks there. Inhale, reach up. Exhale. Bow forward. Step your left leg back to a lunge. Coming to Parsvakonasana, back foot down and parallel. Bring your right hand to your block. Inner spiral the back leg. Reach it up and over. Beautiful. Keep all that as you transition to Trikonasana. We've done this already today. Almost feel like your tummy is drawing in as well. And then re-bend your front leg, coming to Warrior Two. Thighs back, inner spiral, soften. Inhale, straighten the right leg. Turn the toes in. Let's do the other side, left toes. Lunge into the leg. Hand on the block there. And take that moment, to set it up. Soften. It's very similar to Open to Grace in that respect. Reach up, extend your left leg whilst maintaining all this inner work in your legs. Maybe even close your eyes like I am to feel it. And then can you keep all of that as it flows? It doesn't change. That's the beauty of this stuff between poses. Virabhadrasana II. Wonderful. And then straighten the left leg, turn the toes in. Step your way together, yogis. Well done. Let's come down to a seat. So let's finish in Virasana. Bring your knees together. I'm going to create a little seat for myself here with the blocks. So again, I've got this suffering. I'm going to manually create it, lifting my upholstery with my right hand, inner spiraling with my left, and the other way. And then take a deep breath in, a settling breath out. This energy is a softening, a coming in. Well done. And next week we will move on to outer spiral. Feel free to take a brief shavasana here. Namaste.